Hey guys, I'm back here again, and you know, in part 11, I left off on the fact that this moon worship, according to the Quran, it basically leads off into occultism, basically. Because in occultism they recognize times and seasons and all these other things. They basically worship on certain days, certain particular days in which they take part in witchcraft and consulting spirits and things like that. It's pretty obvious here that Islam basically it's nothing more than just, I guess you can put it just I guess like a little, what, souped up version, or little preed up, cleaned up version of witchcraft or occultism at the very least. Because because if they have to do things at fixed periods, when the moon comes out and this and that, what kind of, this is, it's practically witchcraft, because that's what witches do. They love the full moon. Werewolves love the full moon. You see, when you look at the full moon, there's nothing ever really good associated with it at all. That's just common sense, I would think. You know, there's nothing ever good associated with the full moon, or the moon in general. You know, and then now they have to be what? They have to make fast during the crescent moon, which signifies the first night. Because when I saw the crescent moon last week Monday, it was on a Friday. There was actually a full moon too. So you see how it leads off into these crazy things, and yet they'll say, oh, it's a holy religion, and yet in the last parts that I did, it shows how they beat their wives and killing unbelievers and all this other stuff, and yet they'll still tell me, oh, you misinterpreted this and that. Well, go and read it for yourself. Basically, this isn't something I pride myself on. Oh, look at them! Look at these Muslims. You believe in whatever you want to believe, but I mean, but certain things just come right back to common sense. And when you have to make fasts, which is fasting, it's basically um a certain time period where you basically focus on praying. Basically, it's like what you do in general, just pray. And fasting, you basically limit your intake of food, and you basically limit what you normally do on a daily basis. Like, say you normally, like, oh, play games or whatever. When you decide to fast, you just normally put aside certain things, and you limit your food intake, and you basically focus on praying for a certain time period. Whether you fasted for a week or for a month, you know it's basically praying. But they have to be praying during the moon and all this other stuff. And you've seen obviously that nothing good is ever associated with the moon. You know, and it's just the Quran basically explains itself. There's no misinterpretation here. But they're saying, oh well, Allah, we believe in one God, and this and that. So some people, they just, oh, it's one God, so I guess them, and I guess we all believe in the same God. No, we don't. What are the fundamentals of your faith? Fundamentals. If you look at the word fundamentals, It means you can hear the word foundations, the foundations on which your faith or what you believe in stands on. And this obviously is one of the fundamentals of Islam, basically. It's something that they must do. And the other thing that I look at is this verse here where it's saying, Surah 22, verses 41. Those Muslim rulers who, if we give them power in the land, they order for what? Akumat as-Salat, which means to perform the 5 compulsory congregational salat prayers. Because the Muslims, they say that they have to pray 5 times a day, right? Well, from what I've looked at, when they pray 5 times a day, they have to be at specific times during the day. Plus, it has to be in the direction of Mecca, basically. So they have to pray in the direction where they're supposed to make their pilgrimage, every year during the crescent moon. I mean, wow. You see what I'm saying here? Because if their God is so powerful, then why can He only answer your prayers during specific times of the day? You know. Oh, sorry. Well, if you missed one of your 5 prayers, you can just make up the 5 prayers and all of that. So basically, since the prayers are mandatory, then you can just go in there. Okay, I did my 5 prayers or whatever. I'm done, and then you can make your own, I guess, optional prayers. Then those 5 prayers, you don't have. I guess you don't have to really mean them, because since they're mandatory, you can probably just be like, I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm just doing what I gotta do. It's works, basically. It's like a works-based religion. You gotta earn your way to wherever you're going. You can't earn your way to anything good. Because guess what? If you can earn your way, then you can brag about it. Then you can say, "Oh, look at me! I did everything and this and that. And look at that dude on the street. He was nothing." And then the pride builds up. They get proud and this and that, and get a fat head, as you as most of us would put it. And then when they get fatter, or when they get proud, and they start doing things wrong because they're so proud of it, because they're so proud of themselves, they can't really see anything apart from themselves, and they get selfish. And you see how it goes down the road real easy. So it leads nowhere. I mean, spiritually or logically, really. It's just. But then again, hey, you're free to believe in whatever you want to believe, but. I'm just saying that this makes basically no sense in general at all. I'm not doing this study to insult any Muslims or anything like that. I just say, hey, what is this? This doesn't make any sense at all. 5 prayers, mandatory prayers that you have to make every day, and you pray towards Mecca, in the direction of Mecca. And they said that, it's easily provable. You can just research it online. They said that Mecca is a place where, when Muhammad came with Islam, Mecca was a place where they had all of these false deities, where the Arabs, they worshipped whatever number of deities that they used to worship. And Muhammad said, hey, it's just, you have to worship one God, Allah or whatever. But guess what? Allah was one of those deities at Mecca, basically. But he just decided, hey, let's just get rid of all these other deities and just worship one deity. So basically, nothing really changed. Nothing much really changed. They just decided to worship one deity and changed up a whole bunch of other stuff. So this religion, it's almost like a little fairy tale, to say the least. I mean, it's like a little, it's like